Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, as many of you might have guessed, the most popular news story of the day. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Ethereum's Shanghai hard fork complete. Users can now withdraw staked Ether and rewards. Yeah, I believe this happened around 6 p.m. or so in New York City time. At least that's the predictions that I kept on seeing over and over. Just woke up, of course, for those of you who don't know. I roll out of bed and then roll onto the computer. And this is where I currently am. So all this stuff is like still kind of going on. Of course, the most popular, one of the most popular news stories that are currently out there, you'll see the news today is, I mean, you know what's going to happen. The news is never normal in crypto, so it's always going to be a little bit wild. It says Binance to support Ether staking withdrawals. From the 19th of April, Ethereum implemented the Shanghai upgrade early on Thursday, opening withdrawals of more than 18 million staked Ether in the blockchain since late 2020. If you have not seen my other videos from the beginning of this week and also from the other channel that I have called Money Rules, I implore you to do so, just so you are completely up to speed as to exactly what is happening with Ethereum and why there was so much confusion over the last couple of weeks. I noticed very quick that a lot of people actually did not know what was going on. So I will refrain from stating that people were simply spreading lies, but a lot of the people who were releasing or throwing around this information, they are prominent people within the space, what have you. So the upgrade to allow people to be able to withdraw their coins from the network has finally happened. We officially have it. For those of you who don't know, it is going to be happening in a queue-formed basis. That is the QUEUE, that is to say a line. It is a first-come, first-served basis. Therefore, the people who locked up their coins in the beginning of 2020 will receive their coins first. It is going to take a while for these coins to be re-released, if you will, back into the ecosystem, back onto cryptocurrency exchanges. And a lot of people did not understand why. I'm going to explain this in the easiest, quickest, nicest way possible so we can hopefully breeze past all of this. The idea is that as there are no longer tens of thousands of machines that are now mining Ether, we are now using a self basis, i.e. you have Ether, you can throw it into the network, you stake your claim, proof of stake, and the coins remain inside, and that is what's actually validating transactions. If everyone takes their coins out at the exact same time, the network collapses. If everyone unplugs their Bitcoin machines at the exact same time, Bitcoin collapses. We're all on the same page. Cool. Absolutely fantastic. And as such, we are currently at the point where people can withdraw, but the withdrawals will happen slowly, and simultaneously, people will also be putting their Ether inside of the machine, if you will, to create new Ether. So the news has been for the last week. I made sure as much as, as far as my reach extends, to let everyone know exactly what was going on, and there would not be billions of dollars worth of Ether flooding into the market at once. It is going to be a slow drip, and many people are already preparing to put their coins onto cryptocurrency exchanges to begin staking and or to begin self-custody staking themselves. A lot of people historically in the cryptocurrency space, especially for larger coins, tend to wait for an upgrade to actually have happened. You may hear it's going to happen the 1st of March, and then, we don't get it. So people want to see that the actual upgrade has taken place, and now this is where we currently are. So Binance has announced support for withdrawals on the 19th of April. That is roughly around a week away. I'm sure they want to see that the system is working for an entire week, and then they go, okay, cool, we can move forward with this. Also in the news, and this was one of the larger Ethereum stories of the day. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Kraken leads Ether unstaking parade. They are making up 62% of the exit queue. So, how many of you remember what happened just a couple of weeks ago with Kraken? If you weren't here, it is alleged that Kraken got in trouble by the US SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, who said that Kraken's platform, the SEC alleges, their staking platform, they said that something was wrong with it. The SEC claims that Kraken wasn't giving enough information to users of their platform as to what was happening with their staked coins. The assumption was, if I'm handing my coins over to Kraken, are they actually putting them into a system that is then staking them, or is Kraken simply using their funds that has been given to them by a customer to day trade? And any profits that Kraken might make, are those profits then thrown onto their users? Right, see, it's a little bit confusing. These are the accusations or the assumptions at least made by the SEC. And Kraken then announced, I believe I even have it right here, Kraken would be ending their staking services for U.S. clients, meaning people within the United States, as the U.S. SEC is having a problem with Kraken in the U.S., would stop a lot of their services for U.S. peoples, what have you. One of the main ones that we're talking about is staking. Why staking? Because it's about Ethereum staking. So on that news, this was also thrown around because I don't know why evil people exist or why people are trying to actively make sure that other people lose money, but that's the world we live in. This news was floating around, this one that's on the screen right now, is that apparently 62% of people trying to take their money out of Ethereum were coming from Kraken. This is really bearish. It's showing how terrible Ethereum is. No, Kraken has to do this. Rather, they are shutting down themselves mandatorily. And also, it just means that a lot of people who are on Kraken are from the US. And these are the people who have to begin unstaking because Kraken will no longer be supporting it. Yeah, see, when you put everything into actual context, this is why I've been doing like light damage control everywhere, because I knew that so many people wouldn't understand what's going on. A lot of people, you'll read a very scary, terrifying news headline and everyone thinks, oh my gosh, that's crazy. No, like people are actually barely unstaking at all. There's the Kraken blog news thing all over again. For those of you not looking at the screen, I know I keep saying that over and over, but it's because I need you to pay attention. It says Ethereum Shanghai upgrade goes live. Unlocking $34 billion in staked Ether. Incorrect once again. The people who are actually able to unstake, a lot of them are actually not unstaking at all. The current numbers that we have right now, it says Ethereum's pending withdrawals are $1.34 billion. So not the 34 or 45, or I believe we even saw like $55 billion. People were talking about a day or two before that they were expecting to be withdrawn. And guess what? Like I stated earlier, the current withdrawals are standing in a queue. They're standing in a line. They're not all going to be withdrawn at the exact same time. This initial withdrawals are the people who did this at the very beginning, and it will take weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks for the withdrawals to actually take place, as they are coming on a, once again, first come, first served basis. Need to make sure that everyone completely understands that. This was, of course, as we went over, one of the most popular news stories of the day. I am ecstatic that this finally took place after all these years. This was supposed to have been a thing back in 2018. So they're just about like 4 weeks late with the upgrade. On top of that, it says, I don't know why the website expands so far over here. It says Ethereum price eyes key upside break. $2,200 on the horizon. Yeah, at the moment, at the time of me making this video, Ethereum is actually up in price. Can we get to 2,200? Yeah, probably. Will it happen? I don't know, because the cryptocurrency market hasn't been making a lot of sense in the last couple of months. There's no real logic to anything that's currently happening, and that expands across the entire spectrum. That is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP's price, Cardano's price, Omi's price. Nothing is really making sense. So, things can happen. This one says, will ETH hit $2,600 soon? Sure, why not? it's also totally possible if people actually pay attention to everything that's going on. But I think a lot of people aren't paying attention. And this is why we currently have the prices that we currently have. I don't know if you've been seeing it on Twitter. I see it over and over, and I always have like a light chuckle whenever I view it. It's that photo of a long line of people who are trying to buy Bitcoin at $70,000, and there's like another stand next to it. It says Bitcoin for $30,000, and like there's no one standing on that line. It's always the same. Like it's a joke, but it's also not a joke. When prices are too low and people can afford things, they don't want them. It's kind of, I read a lot of books about like economics and like the mindset of money that people have. And one of the things was like, if tomorrow, every Maserati, every Bentley, every other rich person car fell down to like $5,000, $10,000 to buy one of these cars, people would buy them immediately. But the next year, nobody would want them anymore because they're just, they're below average cars. Like that's cheaper than a normal car for $20,000, $25,000. Why would anybody want them? So it's the same thing when it comes to assets. I had assumed, as we knew that prices would be falling over the course of the last year because of everything that the Fed has been doing, that people would have been buying up tons of Bitcoin and tons of Ether and tons of stocks and real estate and stuff. But nope, people don't buy those things until they see that the prices are going back up, that they can't afford them. And then they go, oh, wow, I wish I had bought before. But it's just, humans tend to not value things unless they are told that the value of said item is actually very high. If you ever have sold on eBay, you will see that. I used to, what I was selling years ago, if I tried to put it on for like $45, sometimes no one would bite. If I raised the price to $199, I would get 5 watchers, and then someone would leave a, what's the word? Like a, they would say like, hey, like I only want to pay this much. I forgot what the word is in English. Like, here's how much I want to pay for the item. And they would offer a price offer. There we go. They would offer like $125. And I'm like, well, that's even more than I had it on before. So anyway, will ETH hit $2,600 soon? I mean, my optimism has faded because I assumed people, Also, this one right here, it says Ethereum Shapella upgrade is now live. Here is how it is already affecting the ETH price. The price is going up, but I fear for the future because people never pay attention to actually what's happening. Even if you look at an Ethereum price chart, this is August of last year to where we currently are. It refuses to break this line. This is hyper. This is exactly what price manipulation looks like. There's no real momentum on anything. We have stayed below this trend line. It refuses to break above 2,000. If we actually go above a $2,000 Ether, and I don't really believe so much in stay there for 24 hours. It's more of a, if we actually break that, I think optimism will begin to run back into the market. But until then, things are just kind of basically going completely sideways. So there were no other coins that were really in the price news. There was no real Bitcoin news. Bitcoin's back above 30,000. It's been there for, about 24 hours or so. We saw news a couple days ago. People were like, will Bitcoin go above 32, 33, 36,000? Sure, Bitcoin's totally capable. It's just a matter of it actually doing it. I know that sounds really stupid, but it just, the price has to actually go there. People have to buy, and also, let us not forget, the whales are manipulating prices as much as possible, as I've been telling you, trying to make sure that prices remain low so that they can continue buying. Why? Because normal people don't buy when the prices are low. They buy when it's out of their, I'm telling you, when we start to see prices, really pumping, when we have a $4,000 Ether again, when we have a, $58,000 Bitcoin, this is when your friends will begin to mention to you, oh my gosh, have you been paying attention to the cryptocurrency market? When Bitcoin hits 70,000, Ethereum is at 6,000, 7,000 something or other dollars. People will begin to flood into the market trying to buy these coins. Whatever. It's always the same thing over and over. That's all the price news that we have right now. Ether's currently up. Let's see if it continues going up. There were no other coin prices in the news because this was the update we've been waiting 5 years for news. Also, wait, hold on. Wait. This also kind of ties into it. Not really. It's also price news. It says U.S. stocks slide as Federal Reserve officials predict a mild recession. I saw this in my eyes. They couldn't roll far enough back into the back of my head. Like it actually hurt seeing this. The Federal Reserve has actually announced that they think that we are on the cusp of a recession. They say a mild recession because they know exactly what they've done, and now they're trying to do like heavy damage control for all the nonsense that's been taking place over the last 3 years cumulatively. They say that things don't look too good. But regardless of that, any recession that we might have may be short-lived, only for half a year. They mentioned this before. For those of you who missed it at the beginning of the year, the head of the Fed said that he was willing to push the world's economy into a recession to make sure that the U.S. dollar continued to deflate, if you will. It says stocks fall as fear of recession weighs on investors. Of course, it's completely logical. No, question there. The news that we got is that U.S. inflation is apparently now at 5%, down from the 35% where it currently still actually is, as everything is still extremely expensive. There was a video, I'm sure you've seen them. There's a video that I was watching online, and they were showing the, what is it? Like the actual prices, how much things have actually increased in supermarkets. And they were like, apples are up by 35%, bananas 24. And it was just like really dramatic. But of course, inflation is actually higher. But the inflation numbers show that we're at 5% in the US, and therefore the optimism's there, but I don't trust these people. I never trusted them. But if I had an inkling of hope, it has completely gone out the window. The news that we got before was that, once again, we should have only had one more rate increase for interest rates. And now it looks like we might be getting one more and then a pause. But if there even is one more, it's going to make the economy even worse. Like, I find it mind-boggling that these people would allow literally hundreds of millions of billions of people around the world to suffer just because they made the mistake of constantly printing too much money. But that's the world that we live in. U.S. inflation dips to 5% in March, marking its 9th consecutive decrease. Absolutely fantastic. And Dow futures are little changed as investors mull over recession risk. Yeah, nobody knows what's going on. Everyone's kind of, what do we do? Where are prices going to go? Is inflation still going to go down? Will inflation go up? Because it's still pretty terrible in every other place around the world. I think except for it's like Switzerland and one other place. Oh, I think it's Switzerland and Japan are the least affected places by inflation at the moment because of the way that they deal with their currencies and not printing trillions and trillions of dollars worth. I assume as the day goes on, as stock markets, and mainly the U.S. one, that's always the most important one, begin to open, and we start seeing what other investors are thinking is going to happen, because I think that the next proposed, rate hike is meant to be sometime in May. So it would be nice if we had 2 or 3 weeks of prices going up because of generalized optimism. But as of right now, my optimism is very low as to what the Fed is going to do. These people are monsters. They're destroying the world, and we have to deal with them. That's all the price news. There we go. That's all the price news. And yeah, let's move on. So I thought this was a joke. I knew that it wasn't. And then I was like, help us. FTX's native token. Yep, that FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange that collapsed. And remember the worst thing in the entire world that I told you after 3 months nobody would be talking about it anymore because they would have found a way to smooth it over. Remember what did I warn everyone about a couple of months ago? I said they're going to try and find a way to come back. They're going to try and find a way to change the narrative, to change the story, to tell everyone, no. It was Sam Bankman-Fried that was terrible. Everyone else was totally fine. It was him. He's the mastermind. We have an office with 35 computers, and he was using all 35 at the exact same time. He's the evil one. FTX's native token, FTT, has experienced an 80% surge in price. Can you guess why? Yup, amid plans for the once bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange to make a comeback. You guessed it. Yup, people are still ridiculous, even when all that stuff happened, and I kept on telling you I had a feeling for a while that it was just to kind of get Sam Bankman-Fried out of the way because FTX was trying to become the largest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet, and Changpeng Zhao knew that. Its price skyrocketed from $1.31 to $2.45 after FTX announced it had successfully recovered more than $7.3 billion in cash and liquid crypto assets. You remember what I told you at the beginning of the year? You must remember this. Remember, I was like, they're probably going to try and find money, and they're going to find the money. Can anyone tell me why I told you they were going to find the money? It's very, very simple. Because Sam Bankman-Fried announced at the end of last year that they actually had the money. He said that someone told him to file for bankruptcy because it was a way to protect the company. But when they filed for bankruptcy, they couldn't actually access their money anymore because I think the Bahamas Security and Exchange Commission took hold of it. So therefore, FTX no longer had access to their funds. When people say stuff, listen to them. When people say things out, I'm a firm believer in, especially in like a panic mode. When people say things, they're usually telling the truth. Usually, I don't know how everyone's mind works, but generally. When Sam Bankman-Fried was like, I'm really confused. Like we still have money. Remember when the news was stating that FTX US was completely insolvent and they had no money. And then we heard 3 days later that they were allowing people to withdraw all of their funds. So I was like, what happened to the insolvency? What happened to you guys being completely broke? This was some kind of weird inside job, and I don't really care to even go any further on it. But something's very, very odd within the cryptocurrency space where everyone's doing this really weird, like plutocratic, trying to get control over every single thing. Once again, this is a multi-trillion dollar market. There, we have, people talking about $1 million Bitcoin and control and all this other stuff. So it makes a lot of sense that this person would have been shunned completely to the side. So the news is, apparently the people from FTX, they looked under the carpet. They found this money out of nowhere. It's really crazy. I don't know how you find or recover $7.3 billion, but, it smells a bit fishy. The news that we're currently seeing, it says exchange may restart in 2024. I've seen a lot of may restart in Q2 of this year. I saw some restarting in summer. I think they're just gauging the temperature of the general public. When you announce that a cryptocurrency exchange that people lost billions of dollars in is trying to return, red flag. But they're also basically trying to test, and see how the public reacts to it. This is giving me a lot of, this smells like BitConnect. For those of you who don't remember, when BitConnect collapsed, a couple weeks later, they announced that they were trying to come back. There were so many other, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. GTX. Remember that 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, there was another crypto exchange who announced that they were going to be launching GTX because the letter G comes after the letter F. I'm not joking. You can look it up. And that was going to be the new biggest crypto exchange. We had news from Do Kwon, the guy from the collapse of Terra Luna, who announced that he was going to try and relaunch Terra Luna and merge Terra Luna Classic and Terra Luna together to make a brand new coin and stage a big comeback. And there was also another exchange that it's the same thing over and over. If anyone uses this exchange, I wish you the best of luck. If there were any, now, we're going to move on from here. If there was, and I have to say if, because I was not working for FTX, I am not a part of the lawsuit. All the allegations, if they were actually true, do you think that Sam Bankman-Fried was the only person who may have done those things within the office, or do you think it could have been several people? So on the news that this exchange is trying to come back, all I can say is people will use this if they come back, but I urge you to use common sense, as we do have other already established cryptocurrency exchanges. Why would you go back to something that did not work out before? News. Is this also it right here? Yep, crypto exchange FTX could reopen. Its attorney says firm's FTT token surges. I don't understand, like gluttons for punishment. Like, you want something bad to happen to your money. Like, you are desperate to continuously lose your money. And I've told you that for years with multiple different coins as well. I'm like, stop touching these crappy coins. Like whatever. Anyway, that's the FTX could reopen, and people are hyped on it. Whoa, that's amazing. Can't wait for that dystopia to continue. All right, let's move on. There we go. Also in the news, it says Coinbase has listed Flare tokens, and it says it is honoring their commitment to airdrop the coin onto XRP holders. No, for those of you who don't know how Coinbase actually works, Coinbase many years ago, they announced that they were going to be having airdrops and or basically not giving coins to people, and people lost their minds. Like, people completely flipped. And we're talking about cows and milk. This was like 2017, 2018. It was very, very weird times. And now Coinbase basically makes sure to give people all the coins that they say that they were going to give them at some point. NASDAQ-listed cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase has announced it is listing Flare token in a highly anticipated move that comes after the exchange revealed it is honoring its commitment, because if they didn't, people would have lost it. Flare tokens to people who hold XRP at the time of the snapshot. And I wonder what the timing is for that, because the timing is the 12th of December 2020, and XRP was delisted from Coinbase at the end of 2020. So how many people actually even had XRP on the website at that time? The idea is that depending on how much XRP you had on there, you will receive an amount of Flare. It was supposed to be a 1-to-1 drop, 1 XRP, 1 Flare token. The people from Flare announced sometime, what was it, last summer, that they were only going to give, I think it was a fourth or a third or half of what they said they were going to give, and then they'll sprinkle the rest onto the users over the course of however long, who knows, who actually cares. And I think this is only, I think the airdrop will happen to everyone who had XRP, but I think residents of New York and Japan, so an entire country and a state, will not be receiving these coins at all in approved jurisdictions. It says it's somewhere around here. I'm looking for the word New York and I can't find it. There we go. In addition, users from Japan and New York are ineligible for the Flare. I don't understand. I literally, if you can explain to me how New York is the financial capital of anything, I would really love to know. Every time that anything has happened with an airdrop, free money, something with crypto, New York never gets it. New York never gets it. Like, imagine the entire rest of the world, except for New York and an entire other country. London's getting it. Paris is getting it. I assume Frankfurt's getting it. Rome is going to get it. New York? How are they the financial anything? I do not understand. There's so many restrictions. The taxes are so high. Have you seen those videos? I've seen them that have been popping up on Instagram and everywhere else of these people. I mean, the apartment is the size of a box. It is like you can have 1 foot inside of it, and it's like $3,800 a month. How is anyway? That's the Coinbase is apparently gonna be airdropping Flare tokens for the Flare network. Is Flare doing anything? Wasn't Flare supposed to be like the Polygon to XRP? I don't know. We don't hear about it at all except for the airdrop. So, right. That's that news. And yeah, let's move on. Also according to a recent announcement from Binance US, the American-based subsidiary of the largest cryptocurrency exchange by volume, apparently they're planning on delisting the Tron token. That is Tron, the one from Justin Sun. The news follows Binance's being sued by the US CFTC and Tron's founder, Justin Sun, being sued by the SEC 5 days earlier. So the news is that it doesn't meet their regulatory standards. This is what I've been reading around. Justin Sun says Tron's delisting on Binance US won't impact its market. Probably not. You want to know why? Because people love following charlatans. It's really as simple as that. all the indications that we've got before have shown all of us that Tron is a literal piece of garbage over the years. Every project that was built on top of it has left. They've moved to Polygon and or Cardano. No one's using the chain. We've had news before that a lot of the transactions happening on top of Tron's network were actually falsified. People had bots running transactions back and forth between the same addresses over and over. We also had that before for Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's Vision. And there was another coin a couple of years ago as well. No one's using it. No one's building on top of it. All the money, I mean, you know, you name it. And I can tell you something about it. They have no partnerships. So the news is that they're delisting Tron because they said because of regulatory pressure. You know, it doesn't fit their thing. It says, is Justin Sun the reason behind Binance delisting Tron? Probably. Maybe they had an argument behind the scenes, or I would like to believe that someone at Binance actually went through the metrics of Tron and was like, oh, this is garbage. Let's delist it. But, you know, there's still money to be made in trash. Not sure if you ever heard that before. People will still dig through trash and assume that they found treasure. Yeah, Binance US delist market. Tron's price nosedives after major exchange delisting, but the price actually went up a tiny bit. If you can believe it. Of course you can. Why can you believe it? Because FTX announced that they might come back and the price went up double. So will this affect Tron's price in the long run? Probably not. Simply because if we have a major market move and prices do begin to pump, this coin is also going to pump. I think people don't care. People do not care if you have partnerships, if you have done anything, if anyone's using your coin, what your coin's metrics are. You know, all these things no longer matter to people. It's more of a, I found a coin, the name sounds familiar, I'm going to buy it, I hope it goes up to $10 million. And then when it doesn't, people go, oh, I don't understand, my crappy coin isn't moving. Why is my crappy coin not going anywhere? So that's the Tron news. Right. There were also other allegations, which I won't mention here, but people thought that Justin Sun got in trouble in some sort of way, and therefore Binance then announced that they were going to be delisting it, but, you know, unsubstantiated, what have you. Moving along. Also in the news, it says Warren Buffett doubles down on Bitcoin criticism. Who cares? I want to say, I want to swear really bad, but I won't. This man is 748 years old. Who cares? I don't understand how someone can make money in one way, in one facet, in one thing in their life, and everyone thinks that they're a genius in everything else that they do or that they say. Warren Buffett has announced years ago that he only invests in things that he understands. Like he's very famous for this saying. What's the one? He's like, I drank some Coca-Cola or some Pepsi, and I like the taste of it. It tasted great, and therefore I bought their stock. I like this pizza place, and I thought their pizza was good, so I'm not joking. Like, I'm not making, that's not a joke. Watch interviews of him as to how he invests. He says, I like it, I buy it. He has mentioned before that he didn't buy Apple early enough. He didn't buy Amazon early enough. He didn't buy Google early enough. He didn't buy Fourth Name early enough. Why? Because he didn't understand the technology. It was too foreign to him. He bought it later on when he saw that the price was going up, and he looked through all their metrics, yada, yada, yada. Amazing. This man is 9,000. I don't at any point, if he has a computer that's older or newer than Windows 98, I would be shocked. Does he even use a computer? Does he have a smartphone? He might have a brick phone still. He might not even know that smartphones exist. Why would I take his opinion on Bitcoin? Why would I take his opinion on a technology that is going to be around still in 120 years as the last Bitcoin are being mined? Why would I listen to him? He was everywhere. I only have one tab open. This news was everywhere in the cryptocurrency space. Why does he matter to you? Why do you care? He's been talking negatively about Bitcoin since it was around $14. Do you see Bitcoin's price today? Can you imagine if you had listened to Warren Buffett and not gotten into the cryptocurrency space, how much money you would have not made, how much money you would have lost? There was something like a couple days ago with his friend Charlie Munger. He was like, I don't like Bitcoin. I don't understand it. Oh wow, I'm totally gonna take your investing advice. You know, were you there with Jesus? Did you help write the like? I'm not even being mean. Like why? Like I get it. Like I understand that these people are rich, but they're not rich in the ways that we're gonna be rich. They understand nothing about our market and they don't want to understand it. These people told you to buy gold a couple of years ago. Which performed better? Even better than stocks. Have you seen? You can find these charts yourself. There are charts that show Bitcoin's price relative to the stock market over the last couple of years. Bitcoin has literally gone up by millions of percent since 2009. That is not a fake number. Millions of percent. Why would I care what Mr. Buffett has to say? Right. That's the Warren Buffett news. This was everywhere. Between him, is it Peter Schiff, the other gold guy, and JP Morgan man, Jamie Dimon. Whenever they say anything negative about Bitcoin, it makes popular cryptocurrency news. Am I going crazy? You know what I don't like to eat? I don't like oysters. I think they're absolutely gross. I don't like okra, and I don't like avocado. Very long story. I know someone just got like, oh my gosh, it's a very long story. I tried eating it years ago. I think one of them was really bad, and every time I think about an avocado, it kind of gross. But I don't mention that in every single video. I don't make sure that my Twitter is just filled with, have you guys had oysters today? I don't like you. Like, it is, you know, if you don't like it, don't talk about it. Clearly, these people are intrigued by it in some sort of way that they keep bringing it up every single day in every single message. Think about how obsessed you have to be with something to constantly make sure to mention it every single day. But you don't like it, though. That's the Warren Buffett news. Whoa, guess I got to sell my crypto holdings. Warren Buffett told me to do so. Remember years ago, he said it was rat poison squared. That's something that people said in the 1600s. That's the Warren Buffett news. All right, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: American Crypto Academy, Martin Steuer, Bodie McBoatface, Sam Ratter, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, and let's move on, Empire Queen. Whoa, too much air. Roman Geba, Bitcoin Banner Rakano, Dave, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Lauren DeSilva, Quoted Biddy, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Setsuna, Paxis, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Anytime Fitness, Monks Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, and On Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, who left a like, who left a comment, who left multiple comments, who tried to leave multiple likes, but it didn't work, and you still left a like. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the momento, Bitcoin is currently at 30,123 US dollars. Ethereum is up by 4.2%. It is at 1,949. I think people got shocked that there wasn't a cascade of $50 billion of Ether hitting the market. What? That's crazy, right? Yeah, I hope everyone out there paid attention. And as I mentioned before, when Ethereum goes up, the other altcoins also go up as well. They're all like literally trying to pump right now. How weird is that? You know, if everyone just paid attention to what's constantly happening. Matic is up by 3%, Litecoin's up by 1.9%, Polkadot is up by 2.5%, Avalanche is ironically up by 3.3%, Tron is up by 1.9%. See, you can't No bad news keeps garbage down. Chainlink is up by 2.3. Uniswap is up by 2.9. Cosmos is up by 2.6. Ethereum Classic is up by 5.5. That's confusing. Lumens is up by 1.5. Anything else crazy? Aptos is up by 4.3. Lido DAO, sure, why not, is up by 6.2%. Near Protocol is up by 4.2. ApeCoin is up by 6. I had a dream that ApeCoin was like $300. That's really weird. Yeah, it's really weird. Arbitrum is up by 9 percentile points. Internet Computer is up by 2.7. Phantom is up by 5.8. The Graph is up by 3.3. Anything else crazy? Nope. Oh, Immutable X is up by 6.5. Good job, Immutable X. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day. I thought it was Saturday. I woke up and I was like, Saturday. Nope, not even close. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.